Did you know that the average person spends about 5 years of their life waiting in lines or queues? That's 5 years of frustration, impatience, and often wasted moments that could have been spent in peace and contentment. But what if there's a way to transform every minute of that waiting into an opportunity for growth and serenity? This isn't just a thought experiment. It's a practical lifestyle change inspired by centuries of Buddhist wisdom. Today I'm excited to share how embracing Buddhist practices can turn even the dreariest of waits into a nurturing experience of mindfulness and patience. If you find yourself intrigued by these insights, consider this a gentle nudge to hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey of discovery and inner peace. It's a simple click that means a lot to us here. And don't rush off or skip around. Every part of this video is designed to enrich your understanding and maybe even transform your day-to-day life. Let's dive into these timeless teachings together and explore how they can be applied in our modern world to find a bit more peace in our everyday lives. In our fast-paced world where every minute is scheduled and every delay is a source of stress, embracing the Buddhist concept of mindfulness might just be the antidote we need. Mindfulness, a core principle in Buddhism, teaches us to live fully in the present moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. This habit of being present transforms seemingly lost time, like waiting in line or being stuck in traffic, into valuable moments of reflection and calm. Think about the last time you were in a long queue, perhaps at the grocery store or waiting for a bus. The typical reaction might range from mild annoyance to outright frustration. However, Buddhist teachings suggest a different approach. What if, instead of tapping your foot impatiently or checking your phone every 30 seconds, you took a deep breath and observed your surroundings? Notice the expressions on people's faces, felt the weight of your feet on the ground, and listened to the ambient sounds around you. This practice of mindfulness doesn't just make the wait bearable. It enriches your experience of the moment. By cultivating mindfulness, you learn to accept situations you cannot change, which reduces stress and enhances your emotional well-being. It's about recognizing the flow of life and finding your peace within it, rather than resisting what you can't control. Each moment of awareness adds a layer of tranquility and clarity to your day, turning routine or unexpected waits into opportunities for personal growth and reflection. Moreover, practicing mindfulness in everyday scenarios prepares you for bigger challenges. Just as a small stone can cause ripples across a vast lake, each moment of mindfulness can initiate profound changes in how you perceive and interact with the world. When faced with significant life stresses or decisions, the mental habits formed by mindfulness, such as patience, acceptance, and presence, can guide your actions and thoughts towards more balanced and thoughtful responses. While we often look outward to find happiness, Buddhism teaches us that true contentment begins from within. It's like turning a light on in a room that's been dark for too long. Our minds, cluttered with daily stresses and ceaseless thoughts, can find profound peace through the simple act of clearing away what is unnecessary. This habit is about embracing simplicity in all aspects of life, from our physical spaces to our mental environments. Imagine how you feel when you enter a cluttered room. The chaos outside can easily create chaos inside, disturbing the calmness of your mind. Now think about the serene feeling of stepping into a clean, well-organized space. There's a lightness, isn't there? It's almost as if the room breathes easier, and so do you. In Buddhist practice, this concept is not just about physical cleanliness or minimalism. It's a metaphor for our mental state. Simplifying your surroundings is a practice that helps to reduce the mental clutter that often keeps us from being fully present. Simplifying isn't just about donating old clothes or cleaning out your garage, though these are excellent places to start. It extends to your social obligations, your digital life, and even the thoughts you allow to occupy your mind. It's about distinguishing between what adds value to your life and what detracts from it. By identifying and focusing on the essentials, you can reduce the noise and find clarity. This isn't about deprivation, rather. It's about making more room for the things that truly matter: peace, love, and mindfulness. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize that attachment, even to ideas or habits, can lead to suffering. When we simplify, we let go of these attachments and we open ourselves up to a more mindful way of living. Each object, each activity, and each thought that you choose to keep should serve a purpose in your quest for peace and enlightenment. If it doesn't, perhaps it's time to let it go. As you start to declutter your space and mind, you might notice a sense of relief. It's like setting down a heavy load you've been carrying without even realizing it. This lightness is freedom. It allows you to breathe easier, to focus better, and to be more in tune with life's deeper rhythms. Simplifying your life aligns beautifully with the Buddhist path of reducing suffering for oneself and others. It makes you more conscious of the present and more appreciative of life's basic joys. Sometimes, amidst our busy schedules and the constant chase for more, we lose sight of the nourishment our bodies and minds genuinely need. It's like trying to fill a pot with water without really checking if there are any holes. The third habit we're exploring today involves introducing mindfulness into our eating, transforming each meal into a moment of connection and awareness, reflecting the Buddhist practice of mindfulness, which teaches us to fully experience the present moment. Eating mindfully isn't just about chewing slowly or savoring the flavor of your food, although those are important aspects. It's about recognizing the food on your plate as more than just sustenance. Each grain, each vegetable, each piece of fruit carries a story, from the sun and soil that nurtured it to the hands that harvested and prepared it. By acknowledging this journey and expressing gratitude for the multitude of elements that contributed to bringing this meal before you, you engage in a practice known as samvega, which in Buddhism encourages a profound appreciation for the interconnectedness of life. Mindfulness while eating involves being aware of the taste, texture, and aroma of the food, yes, but also being conscious of the body's cues. It's about noticing when you're hungry and when you're full to avoid overeating. This awareness can lead to healthier eating habits and even contribute to better digestion, as the mind and body are aligned and relaxed during meals. This practice teaches patience and restraint, virtues highly regarded in Buddhist teachings. Instead of rushing through meals while distracted by our devices or worries, we give ourselves the chance to pause, creating a ritual that centers around nourishment and reflection. This not only enhances our appreciation for the food, but also allows us to reflect on our day, set intentions, or simply be present with our thoughts and sensations, which can be incredibly soothing and grounding. When we think about transforming ourselves and nurturing growth, it's essential to embrace the virtue of self-discipline, isn't it? It's a concept deeply rooted in Buddhism, but often misunderstood in our modern hustle culture, where discipline tends to be associated solely with austerity or rigidity. In the Buddhist perspective, self-discipline isn't about denying oneself joy or living a restricted life. Instead, it's about aligning more closely with our deepest values and living intentionally in ways that foster genuine happiness and peace. Self-discipline in Buddhism is beautifully intertwined with the idea of the middle path. This path isn't about extreme asceticism or indulgent excess. It's about finding a balanced approach to life that promotes inner harmony and well-being. When we practice self-discipline, we are essentially training our minds to choose actions that lead to long-term benefits and happiness, rather than opting for fleeting pleasures that might lead to suffering. It's about making choices that are in harmony with our moral values, which in turn cultivates a sense of peace and satisfaction that is more lasting and profound than any temporary enjoyment. Think of self-discipline as the practice of mindful living. Every choice you make, from getting up early for meditation to choosing healthier food or even managing time wisely, is a form of self-discipline that Buddhism encourages. These choices might seem small or insignificant in isolation, but collectively they lead to a life that is rich in peace and purpose. Each act of self-discipline reinforces our commitment to our personal growth and spiritual path. Moreover, practicing self-discipline helps us cultivate other essential Buddhist qualities such as mindfulness and patience. It takes a mindful awareness to recognize our impulses and choose not to follow them blindly. And it certainly requires patience to stick with these choices, particularly when old habits and desires make their presence felt. Over time, these practices help in developing a stronger, more resilient character that stands firm in the face of life's challenges. In the fast-paced whirlwind of modern life, we often forget the power that comes from simply being present. Consider how often we rush through meals, conversations, and even our daily commutes, always looking ahead to the next task. But here's a Buddhist-inspired reminder. Embracing mindfulness can change not just moments, but whole lives. This practice isn't just about meditating in a quiet room. It's about maintaining a moment-to-moment awareness throughout the day. It's about truly experiencing the now, which is a profound lesson rooted deeply in Buddhist teachings. Buddhism teaches us that mindfulness is the art of being fully present and engaged with whatever we are doing at any moment, free from distraction or judgment. By cultivating mindfulness, we can learn to respond to life's challenges with calmness and clarity. Imagine savoring every bite of your lunch, feeling the texture of the food, appreciating its flavors, and acknowledging how it nourishes your body. This simple act can turn a routine meal into a profound experience of appreciation and connection. Furthermore, mindfulness helps us become acutely aware of our thoughts and emotions. Instead of being swept away by them, we can observe them with a gentle curiosity. This observation is key to understanding ourselves better and fostering compassion towards others. When you notice frustration bubbling up during a traffic jam, mindfulness allows you to acknowledge this feeling without letting it dictate your actions. Perhaps you'll notice the tension in your shoulders and choose to breathe deeply, letting the stress melt away with each exhalation. This practice extends beyond personal benefits. It enriches your interactions with others. Mindful listening, for example, involves giving your full attention to someone without preparing your next argument or response. It means really hearing them, which can deepen relationships and foster both understanding and respect. This level of attentiveness is a gift not only to others but to ourselves, as it opens our hearts and minds to new perspectives and reduces conflict. When we talk about decluttering, the first thing that might pop into your head is probably a garage full of unused items or a drawer overflowing with forgotten gadgets. But decluttering isn't just about physical space. It's equally, if not more, about clearing the mental clutter that accumulates in our minds. In the teachings of Buddhism, the concept of simplicity holds a profound place. It's about more than just minimizing material possessions. It extends into the realm of mental decluttering, which can significantly enhance our spiritual practice and peace of mind. Buddha emphasized the importance of letting go of attachments to create a life filled with more peace and contentment. Each superfluous thought, each unwarranted worry, and every needless distraction that we hold on to not only takes up space in our minds but also weighs down our spirits. By practicing mental decluttering, we open up space for more meaningful thoughts and more serene moments. This process involves recognizing thoughts that do not serve us and gently letting them go, not with force but with understanding and compassion for ourselves. Imagine your mind as a serene garden. Over time, weeds grow, the weeds being negative thoughts, prejudices, and old habits that don't serve your well-being. Mental decluttering is akin to gardening. It requires patience, dedication, and gentle care. As you pull each weed out, you're not just clearing space, you're nurturing the soil for more wholesome thoughts to grow, thoughts of compassion, peace, and wisdom. This doesn't happen overnight and requires consistent effort, much like how a gardener tends to their garden daily. Moreover, decluttering your mind helps enhance mindfulness and reduces the overwhelming noise of negative thinking that can cloud our judgment and emotional responses. The quieter your mind, the more you can hear your true inner self, guiding you towards more thoughtful and insightful decisions. In practical terms, this could mean starting or ending your day with a few minutes of meditation, practicing deep breathing when you feel overwhelmed, or simply becoming more aware of the nature of your thoughts and choosing not to engage with those that disturb your peace. In a world that often measures success by how much we gain or achieve, there's something profoundly freeing about the concept of generosity. Generosity, in its truest Buddhist sense, isn't about grand gestures or only giving when it's expected, but about infusing this spirit into every interaction, every day. It's about understanding that the real power of giving lies not in the material things we relinquish, but in the joy and connection that flourish as a result. Buddhism teaches us that every act of giving is also an act of receiving. This might sound paradoxical at first, but think about it. When you offer something, be it your time, your resources, or even a smile, without expecting anything back, you're also liberating yourself from the desires that typically dictate your actions. This is what the Buddha meant when he talked about the freedom from attachment. Each selfless act enriches our spirit more than clinging to possessions or accolades ever could. Moreover, embracing generosity cultivates a sense of abundance. In our daily lives, we often operate from a place of scarcity. We worry there won't be enough, whether it's time, money, or love. But when you start giving freely, you affirm to yourself and the universe that there is plenty to go around. This shift from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance opens your life to more opportunities and deeper connections. Generosity also deepens our understanding of interdependence, a core Buddhist principle. Every time you give, you acknowledge that your life is inextricably linked with others. By supporting one another without keeping score, we recognize that our well-being is collectively bound. We start to see that our actions ripple out and affect the network of lives around us, which in turn impacts our own lives in a positive feedback loop. It's vital, though, to remember that true generosity does not lead to depletion. If you find yourself feeling drained, it might be time to look at the balance of giving and receiving in your life. True generosity nourishes both the giver and the receiver. It should not leave you feeling empty. It's about giving from a place of love and abundance, not obligation or desire for reward. It's intriguing how often our minds wander to the future or dwell on the past, isn't it? Sometimes this means we miss the beauty and lessons nestled within the present moment. This is where the concept of mindfulness, deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, can genuinely transform our daily lives. Mindfulness is not just about catching yourself when your thoughts drift. It's about gently bringing your attention back to where you are, what you're doing, and how you're feeling. Imagine the serenity and depth of experience possible when we truly live in the now. Buddha taught that the mind is everything. What we think, we become. And what better way to embody this teaching than through mindfulness? It's not merely a practice, but a way of being that involves noticing the world around you, its sounds, its scents, the way the air feels against your skin. Mindfulness is the gentle acknowledgement of a wandering mind and the deliberate focus back on the present task, whether it's washing dishes, typing an email, or walking to the bus stop. When we practice mindfulness, we cultivate a sense of presence that enriches every moment. Even routine tasks become opportunities for meditation. This practice helps reduce stress by keeping us from fixating on what could go wrong in the future or what has gone wrong in the past. Instead, it anchors us in the present, where we have real power to influence our life. Moreover, this habit of being present leads to greater patience, less anxiety, and a deeper appreciation of life's simple pleasures. When you eat, fully taste your food. When you listen, fully hear the words and feel the emotions behind them. This depth of experience is often lost in our hectic, multitasking reality. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine doesn't have to be a daunting task. It can start small with mindful breathing exercises during your morning routine or a few moments of silent gratitude before meals. Over time, these practices expand your awareness and transform mundane activities into moments of joy and connection. In the bustling pace of today's world, where every moment is scheduled and every second seems accounted for, the art of truly being present has become somewhat of a lost treasure. Interestingly, one of the most cherished practices in Buddhism, meditation, offers us a way to reclaim this treasure. Meditation isn't just about finding a brief oasis of calm amidst the chaos. It's a profound journey towards understanding ourselves and our place in the universe. When we meditate, we step into a space where the mind can quieten and we can disconnect from the noise that usually surrounds us. Think of it as tuning out the static on the radio so you can hear the music clearly. It's in these moments of clarity and calm that we can hear our own thoughts and emotions without the usual interference that life throws at us. What's truly beautiful about meditation is its simplicity. It doesn't require special equipment or a specific setting. It's accessible right here, right now, wherever you are. Buddhism teaches us that meditation sharpens our awareness and brings us into the present moment, which is the only true moment we ever really own. We spend so much of our lives either replaying past events or planning for future ones. Meditation pulls us back from that precipice of past and future into the now. Here, in the present, is where life happens, where we can truly engage with our experiences and live fully. The benefits of this practice are profound. Regular meditation not only eases stress, but also enhances your capacity to deal with life's unexpected challenges. It increases emotional resilience, making the highs and lows of life more manageable. As you develop a meditation routine, you might notice a decrease in irritability and moodiness, as mindfulness cultivates a steadiness of spirit that can carry you more smoothly through the day. Moreover, as your meditation practice deepens, you'll likely find that your periods of meditation are like deep conversations with a close friend, yourself. You'll start to understand your motivations, fears, and dreams better. This self-awareness is a powerful tool. It allows you to navigate life with more compassion and less judgment, not only towards yourself, but also towards others. In Buddhism, meditation is seen not just as a tool for personal enlightenment, but as a means to contribute positively to the collective human experience. By finding peace within ourselves, we're better equipped to spread peace outwardly. It's like lighting a candle. Just as one candle can light many others while not diminishing its own light, so too can a calm and centered individual influence their surroundings positively. Patience might just be one of the most underrated virtues in our fast-paced, instant gratification world. It's fascinating to think about how often we rush through our days, from one task to the next, barely stopping to breathe, let alone appreciate the moments we're living. But here's a profound thought from Buddhist teachings. The practice of patience is not just about waiting passively. It's about actively engaging in the present and seeing each moment as an opportunity for growth and understanding. In Buddhism, Patience is seen as a crucial aspect of our spiritual development. It's not merely the ability to wait without getting angry or upset. It's a deep, enduring quality that helps us to accept the truths of life, including suffering, impermanence, and the uncertainty of our existence. This kind of patience teaches us to embrace each moment with a calm mind and a compassionate heart. Imagine how different our lives could be if, instead of reacting impulsively to setbacks, we could approach them with a mindful serenity, seeing each challenge as a chance to practice staying centered and composed. This is where the wisdom of Buddha really shines through. He taught that our suffering doesn't really come from the external challenges we face, but from the way we react to them. By cultivating patience, we learn to let go of our frantic reactions to the world around us. We start to see that our impatience often stems from a desire to control our lives and the outcomes of events, which in reality is a futile effort. Life flows with or without our consent, and by practicing patience, we learn to flow with it rather than resisting it. But how do we cultivate such patience in our everyday lives? It starts with mindfulness. Every time you find yourself in a situation where impatience rears its head, take a moment to breathe deeply. Observe your feelings and thoughts without judgment, and remind yourself of the impermanence of your current situation. Each moment of impatience is an opportunity to practice patience. Over time, this practice will deepen your ability to handle life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. Navigating life's obstacles isn't just about getting through them, it's about growing through them. In Buddhism, there's a profound emphasis on embracing each challenge not as a barrier to our happiness, but as a vital part of our path to enlightenment. Think about a seed. Without the resistance of the soil pressing against it, it wouldn't find the strength to push through to the sunlight. Our lives are quite similar. Each difficulty and setback is like that soil, resistance necessary for growth. The Buddhist concept of dukkha, or suffering, teaches us that hardship is an inevitable part of the human experience. Yet, it's not the presence of these obstacles that defines our lives, but how we choose to respond to them. When we encounter difficulties, it's easy to feel victimized or overwhelmed. Buddhism invites us to shift our perspective. What if we viewed each obstacle as a teacher? What lessons can we learn? This shift doesn't just help us cope, it transforms our entire approach to life's challenges. By cultivating patience, mindfulness, and compassion, we learn to approach obstacles with a calm mind and an open heart. Imagine you're faced with a sudden job loss or a breakdown in a relationship, common scenarios that can cause significant distress. Instead of reacting with panic or despair, Buddhism teaches us to pause, breathe, and observe our emotions without judgment. This mindful pause allows us to respond from a place of wisdom rather than react out of fear or anger. Moreover, the practice of mindfulness helps us dissect these obstacles to understand their nature. We begin to see that our suffering often stems not from the obstacle itself, but from our resistance to it. By accepting the reality of the situation, we can start working on what we can control: our actions, our thoughts, and our attitudes. And there's also a deep compassion element in this practice. Sometimes the obstacle might be beyond our ability to overcome alone, and that's okay. Recognizing when to seek help, when to reach out to others, and when to offer help are all aspects of cultivating a compassionate response to life's challenges. This not only aids in our own journey, but strengthens our connections with others, fostering a shared resilience. Sometimes we underestimate the power of small actions, like expressing gratitude, and how they can profoundly shape our days and eventually our lives. In Buddhism, the practice of gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all life and acknowledging that every experience, whether perceived as good or bad, offers value and lessons. This approach shifts our focus from what's missing to what's present, from lack to abundance. Expressing gratitude daily sets a tone of appreciation that can turn mundane moments into opportunities for joy and connection. For instance, when you thank someone sincerely, whether it's the barista who made your coffee or a co-worker who helped with a project, you acknowledge their effort and value. This not only brightens their day, but also reinforces your own feelings of connectivity and positivity, fostering a sense of community and support that is often overlooked in our fast-paced lives. Buddha taught that our thoughts shape our reality, and by cultivating a habit of gratitude, we actively reframe our perspective to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. This mental shift can dramatically reduce the feelings of envy, resentment, and dissatisfaction that frequently plague our minds. Instead of envying what others have, gratitude helps us celebrate their achievements as well as our own. It teaches us to find contentment in our current circumstances, which is a foundational step towards lasting happiness and peace. Moreover, gratitude in Buddhism is seen as a way to cultivate generosity of spirit. When we're thankful for what we have, we're more likely to share it with others. This can be as simple as sharing a smile or as significant as making a donation. Either way, gratitude moves us to act with kindness and generosity, creating a ripple effect that enhances the well-being of those around us. As we draw this video to a close, remember that each step on this path enriches not only your life, but also those around you. Thank you for joining me on this profound Buddhist journey, exploring the subtle but powerful shifts we can make every day. If you're curious about how these principles apply to daily challenges, don't miss our next video on the screen now. Dive deeper, continue learning, and keep transforming. Your presence and engagement make all the difference. Until next time, keep nurturing your spirit and sharing the journey.